Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across the south today. But really the big headline for today is going to be that winter-like weather that's coming into the northern portion of the U.S. Let me go ahead and get all of our graphics set up here. Let's go ahead and talk about your headlines now. Dangerous cold arrives this weekend. These temperatures are dropping below zero for many of us, and the wind chill feeling more like 20 to maybe even 40 degrees below zero. That is so cold. Now your Arctic outbreak is going to continue as we head into the weekend, and that's going to be accompanied with a little bit of snow. We'll talk about that as well. And then the other side of the country is going to be pretty warm. But where are the storms? When are we going to get that next chance for severe weather? We'll have a look at that for you here in just a few minutes. This is a very rare but strong winter pattern that has set up across the U.S., and we'll talk about exactly what that means as we get into your forecast. As always, we're going to talk about a lot of the states across the U.S., so put where you're watching from in the comments section, and we can hopefully get to your exact location. Now, over the last 24 hours, it has been pretty sparse in terms of severe weather, or extremely sparse. Yeah, we have not seen any severe weather over the last 24 hours, and most likely will not. The best chance for severe weather is going to be down to the south, where we have a warm front setting up. It's going to keep this area pretty wet over the next few days with showers and storms not only today but also continuing into the weekend. We've got two areas that we're watching for here for severe weather. That'll be down into Houston and southern Louisiana. However, it's still going to be a very low chance for severe weather. You go farther up to the north, there is your cold weather. Who is sitting in the north with these extreme cold temperatures? 20 to 40 degrees below zero for those feel-like temperatures. That's the wind chill, okay? And all of that thanks to an Arctic high-pressure system moving into the northern side of the U.S. Other than that, it's pretty quiet out there. No rain. Other than just a little bit across the east coast. We've got a little bit of rain across the southern portion of the U.S. as well. Lots of snow moving into places like Rapid City, Nebraska, Montana, also looking to get some snow. Out to the west, we have thankfully had a break from all of this rain that we've gotten up in Washington. Now, unfortunately, that caused a lot of traffic issues, a lot of flooding issues as well over the last 3 or 4 days. They're going to get a break for today, but more rain is expected later on this weekend. And you know what I didn't do before we started here? I didn't check my audio. Okay, so we've got audio. Let's go ahead and continue. Talking about the temperatures here, hey, would you believe me if I said that for some of us, this is the warmest it's going to get in the next 48 hours? 21 up in Minneapolis, 31 in Fort Wayne. It's only going to get colder than that. Got a little bit of snow over the last 24 hours, but we are expecting more snow to come with this winter system. So now we've got some snow on the ground. Any snow that's on the ground right now is going to stay on the ground. It's not going to melt off. No, it is too cold for that. So let's go ahead and fast forward into your severe risk for today. Now, a lot of people have asked, when is the next chance for severe weather? You know, tornadoes in December, they can happen. We just talked about the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. The anniversary of that happened 2 days ago. So 4 years and 2 days ago, we had the historic and tragic Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. So we know that severe weather can happen during December. However, it is one of the most rare months for a tornado to happen. And we're not seeing any severe weather over the next 24 hours either. If you take a look at your significant hail model, zooming down into places like Houston and southern Louisiana, all that we see on the model here are those white, kind of milky-like colors in the southern portion of the U.S. And basically what that tells me is that we have an extremely low chance for hail in this area. Now, maybe a better chance tomorrow, maybe near Corpus Christi, maybe up just south of Houston, but still I'm not counting on it. We're going to have some showers, maybe some storms, but the chance for a supercell or a rotating storm is very low here. So, of course, I have our no significant hail expected graphic on the board for today. If you do see any hail, how big will it get? I have, what did I say, penny or nickel today? Penny. Okay, penny size hail. If we see any hail at all, which it's a very low chance, that'll be down in the Houston area, penny size hail, if any at all. I know. Okay, we're going to talk about southeastern portion of the U.S. here. We're going to go up to the north and talk about how cold it's going to get up there as well. We're going to talk about a lot of different states. So tell us where you're watching from today. Tell us where we need to really be focusing in on today, and hopefully we can get to all of those states. As you can see on the board, your severe outlook is looking pretty quiet. We don't have a big chance for severe weather over the next 3 or 4 days. We've seen all of that rain finally taking a break across Washington. Taking a look at your 5-day rain chances here, everything for the most part stays up to the north. You go down to the south, you've got a few chances for showers and maybe some isolated storms, and then you go out to the northwest, and that's where all of the rain is coming in, mainly in the northwestern portion of the U.S. Down to the south, warm but dry, and then right across the central portion of the U.S., right across the belt there, we also stay very, very dry. Got a level 1 flood risk, level 2 flood risk as we head into early next week, again from all of those showers and storms out in Washington. So taking a look at your 6 to 10 day forecast here, taking a look at what we can see over the weekend. All right, let's go into over the weekend now. Snow will move anywhere from Montana to South Dakota, Nebraska today, and then into the Midwest as we head into the end of Friday and into Saturday. Other than that, you've got a little bit of wet weather down to the south. We're dry other than that. This could cause some tricky travel conditions, but I'm not as worried about the snow as I am with the cold weather. That cold weather, we're calling it an Arctic blast, is coming from an Arctic high-pressure system that's moving from Canada. It's a high-pressure system moving into the northern portion of the U.S., which is why we have no snow for the most part in this area. Just outside of that high-pressure system, going around the high-pressure system, that's where you're going to get the snow. And these areas highlighted here in purple. Go into that high-pressure system, that's where the coldest temperatures are going to be. It's a pocket of Arctic air that has made its way into the U.S., bringing those temperatures down to tumble into a dangerous below freezing, below 0. Factor in the wind here, and it feels like below 20 in some places, below 30 in other places. So, to account for that, the National Weather Service has issued a cold weather advisory, highlighted here in this light blue color. Highlighted in dark blue, an extreme cold warning. Highlighted in pink, a winter weather advisory, and highlighted in purple, I mixed that up. Highlighted in pink, a winter storm warning, and highlighted in purple, a winter weather advisory. Now, I do want to give some information on the cold weather advisory and the extreme cold warning, so let me get to that real quick. I'm pulling that up on my computer. That's on the side of my screen over here. So this is for the cold weather advisory. It remains in effect from tonight until Sunday. What the National Weather Service is saying here is very cold wind chills, as low as 31 below 0 expected, so minus 31 there. When is this happening? From midnight tonight, midnight Friday, until 10 a.m. on Sunday, so basically the entire weekend. And they've got some words of caution here. Use caution while traveling outside. Wear the appropriate clothing, a hat and gloves. A little fun fact here, the area of your body that is going to lose the most heat first are your hands, your toes, and your head. So your phalanges and your head. That's why we want you to wear multiple socks, wear your gloves, wear your hat. That's going to help to keep you very warm. The National Weather Service goes on to say, make frequent checks on older family, friends, and neighbors. Ensure portable heaters are used correctly. Do not use generators or grills inside. If you do not have heat in your home or lack shelter, you can call 211 or visit for assistance locating appropriate shelter from the cold. So they're preparing to have these warming stations because of the extreme cold conditions across the northern portion of the U.S. We've got an extreme cold warning and extreme cold weather advisory highlighted there for the northern portion of the U.S. You go farther down to the east, and you've got those winter weather advisories and warnings there. Now moving on, let's talk about that snow. As I mentioned earlier, not as much snow where it's the coldest. That snow is going to be farther out to the west and down to the south, just around that high pressure system. Taking a look at the future radar for Saturday. Now Saturday, it looks like we will continue to see that snow moving across Iowa here. Mixing in maybe a little bit of a winter mix here, but for the most part this is snow just because it is so cold. We're going to get mainly snow out of this. Snow could come into Chicago, northern Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Again, with that rain lingering down in the southern portion of the state, it'll be nice and warm in this area. I think Houston was going to get into the 60s and 70s today. Nice and warm and pretty muggy as well. We've also got a concern for fog across central and southern Texas as we head into Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you're taking those early morning hours a little bit slower. Give yourself some extra time on Saturday and Sunday morning because it could be very, very foggy in this area. Your future radar here, it looks like we're going to be pretty dry as we head into the end of Sunday. Very cold, but pretty dry. We'll warm back up as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think oftentimes this time of the year, if we see those warmer temperatures move in, we start to think, hey, could we get some severe weather? Now, I think with all this dry air and this cold setup, this high pressure system is really controlling that weather to make sure that we do not see any severe weather. So we need this entire thing to move out before we get that severe weather potential back in here. And I would say that is not going to be until at least the end of this month. So at least after the 22nd, if not early next year. So your chance for severe weather in December is going to be very, very low. Moving on to your cold temperatures here, how low can we get here? That's the game the weather is playing. How low can we get? -6 for your temperature in Minneapolis by early Saturday morning, -2 in Bismarck. But you factor in the wind and it feels even colder than that. We just get colder on Sunday too, -17 degrees below zero on Sunday morning. Kansas City, your low is about 10 degrees, single digits, 10 degrees there. About -6 in Chicago. Holy moly, that is cold. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if you factor in the wind here, it's going to feel even colder than that. Some of us have already felt that heat today. We are sitting at -28 degrees below zero for your wind chill in Minot, North Dakota. Taking a look into the future here, by tonight, we see those -20 degrees below zero all the way through Fargo, Duluth, and Minneapolis, but it just gets colder for some of us as we head into early Sunday morning. Again, this is dangerous cold. You absolutely need to bundle up and make sure that you have the appropriate shelter. If you do not have appropriate shelter, make sure that you find some before Sunday morning, as temperatures in Chicago will feel like 14 degrees below zero. Kansas City, it'll feel like 1 degree below zero. I mean, holy moly, it's cold. But I want to point something out to you. While we have these extreme cold conditions across the Midwest, you go off to the west and you've got some nice warmer conditions. 51 in Denver for your feel-like temperature, that's pretty nice. So this country divided is something that we're going to see over the next 3 days, where we have cold conditions up to the north and west, or across the Midwest, up to the north and east, and then you go out to the west and your conditions are above average, pretty comfortable for this time of the year. This will continue. There's your high pressure system. It's very, very evident where that cold is going to be, where that high pressure system is as we head into Saturday, Sunday as well. It looks like a lot of us are going to get a lot colder, and then by Monday, things start to warm up across most of the U.S. Tuesday, it looks like a good portion of the U.S. is finally back above average, finally giving a break to those across the Midwest which dealt with those dangerous conditions this weekend. And there you go, and there's your forecast. What about as we get into late December? Well, it does look like this unseasonably warm temperature pattern is going to last all the way up until just before Christmas. We're talking about December 17th through the 21st there. So that week before Christmas looks pretty warm, or I'll say warmer than average. Not necessarily warm, but let's say your average is 60 degrees. You have a really good chance to be at 65. So not necessarily warm, but we'll call it warmer than average. Moving on, what about the rain chances? This actually does concern me a little bit because we have not seen a ton of rain out in the Four Corners, Oklahoma, Kansas, the Four Corners, Kansas, and Texas. We haven't seen a ton of rain in this area, and that's going to continue as we head into the end of December. So there are fire concerns, fire conditions could get a little dangerous or more critical as we head into the end of this month as well. That's something to watch out for. I'd love to see some rain across the Four Corners and across Oklahoma and Texas, but I guess we'll see as we continue into the rest of the month. Other than that, make sure you bundle up this weekend. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. We will, as always, have a forecast once again on Monday as well. So give us a follow. We'll be posting on our social media pages in the meantime. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or give us a call at 855-334-4245 for information on a hail, wind, or tornado map. Even though we don't have any severe weather right now, you can always go back and work storms that happened back in May, June, July. We have those maps for you. They're all done, and we've got pictures on the maps. They're QC'd, all at HailTrace.com, so head over to HailTrace.com for more information, or give us an email, info@HailTrace.com. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we'll see you back here, same time, same place for your forecast on Monday.